Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to Prophet Adam in the Garden Path. Today, let's discuss sacred monogamy, the marriage of Adam and Hawa alayhum salam. So in the Quran, in the Bible, in many different prophetic texts, we have Adam and Eve, Adam and Hawa, peace be upon them, as the sacred archetype and exemplar for humanity to follow. And in the Quran, we're told that we are pairs. We were made in pairs. We are also told that we are garments for one another. So as garments, we are protective shieldings, force fields for one another. We are to weave our ways through one another's bodies and hearts, to be energetically one. Biblically, we are told to be equally yoked. So to think about it like a team of oxen, and they've got the harness, and it has to be set correctly over both of them so that they can pull the load, so that they can do the farming work together and not be off balance, because we do work together. I'm not saying that we're oxen, and I'm definitely not saying that we're cattle. This is a metaphor. The whole point is that we are, because there's another way of looking linguistically at the word yoke. The word yoke in the Indo-European languages, as it's come down into English, is cognate or related to the ancient Indian and Irani words. And so we've got the word from Sanskrit, yoga. Yoga is to unify. It's a unifying force. It unifies body and mind. It's a whole-making process. And there are many yogic systems around the world. Islam is a yogic system. It's a contemplative system. I'm using the word yoga in a comparative religion sense. And I know some people might have some issues with it, but we're looking at word meanings. I love etymologies, and we can derive much insight from studying word connections. So to be equally yoked is, so it's to unify our body and our minds, to be made whole as a mature human. But to be equally yoked with a spouse is to be made one bodily and energetically and in the heart. Now, arguably, since we all come from Adam alayhi salam, and we were brought forth from one body, and we are many souls from one soul, we all technically share the same heart. So when we come together in sacred marriage, what we're doing is I'm not saying this is the best way of describing it, but we're removing the clutter, all the ego out of the way. As we remove the ego through a purification process, through a tazkiyah process, we realize that we share the same heart. And this is how you can meet a couple who they finish each other's sentences. They read each other's minds all the time. They know one another on a very, very deep level because they have become one. They share DNA. They share bodily fluids. They share food and drink. They share bedding. They share bathing water. They share their lives together. They share their children together. So anyway, this is very, very interesting to consider how we become the goal is to be equally yoked, to have similar outlook, a similar worldview, a similar approach to life, and then to become one increasingly, to be unified over time, and to be almost like one person, two bodies in a certain sense. This is, it's like, my grandparents, I don't know what kind of parents they were, but to me, they were excellent grandparents. And they taught me so much about the prophetic path, and I'm very thankful for them. May they be blessed with trays of light. May they have the highest garden experience, the highest Jannah, inshallah. But my grandparents, they were married for 61 years. They died 61 days apart. Like people would always mention their names together as if they were one person. It's like, even the names I called them, they were unified by the and. It was one person. And I had some very interesting experiences with them over the years where I saw how one they were. And this concept of being equally yoked and of having a common yoga, a yogic experience, a unifying purificatory experience. This is a very real process that many of our elders have gone through. We should honor that, and we should look at this as an example. Now, one other thing I wanted to mention is that within Islam, we have a number of marriage models available to us. However, it's interesting because no matter what, the optimal example and the primary example for marriage is always Adam and Hawa alayhum salam. And within the Muhammadan expression, it's interesting because our Nabi Muhammad, peace be upon him, he was married, from my understanding, to Khadija, may Allah be pleased with her, for 25 years, and he did not take any wives, any concubines, ever. He was in a strict monogamous relationship for 25 years. So that's kind of interesting to think about. Also, Ali, may Allah be pleased with him, in his marriage to Fatima, may Allah be pleased with her. My understanding is that for the entire time she was alive, he never had any other wives or concubines. Now, these are some things I'll look into more in the future, inshallah, but just consider that these two humans are considered to be exemplary humans to hundreds of millions of Muslims around the world. And it's interesting that both of them had very strict monogamous marriages. Now, until you have had a marriage, a successful marriage of 25 years, following the sunnah of our prophet, that's kind of interesting. Have we fully explored and realized the potential of our monogamous marriages yet? So I'm not going to say to place a limit on that, but I'm saying that as individuals, I think that we should realize the potential of our monogamy. And I don't think we have. Matter of fact, we've been going through so many divorces and problems. It's always the grass is greener on the other side. I know many brothers who they're having problems with their wives, and they're automatically thinking about, taking on another wife, considering it. And I would say before you jump to that level, because that's going to bring some big complications into your life in most cases. Very few men can handle it properly. I'm not saying that it's an option for us. It's within the human community all around the world. But that doesn't mean it's the healthiest option. And this is what we need to think is, what is healthiest for us moving forward? Have we healed our marriages and healed our homes and healed our families enough to be considering making them more complicated and sophisticated? So this is just something to think with. I'm very open to the possibilities in considering them, but I'm just thinking on a personal level. I think that monogamy holds tremendous potential. And it does go back to Adam and Hawa alayhum salam, my apologies. May we emulate them well. May we see the beauty of their exemplary marriage and unpack their story a bit more than we have, because I don't think we've seen the full sophisticated, nuanced nature of their marriage according to the stories. So anyway, until next time, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu.